with bug life.
To do with bug life, yeah. I just thought it would put it into a context.
This is a great story when we know it, but the trouble is we're judging this picture without the story. So the problem here is it looks like as if you're trying to do something else. The intention of the photographer should always come across in the photo. So I think you've let yourself down there.
Hello, Carolyn.
Hello, pleased to meet you.
Hi.
Carolyn's kept her Germaine portrait simple, but has used Photoshop to heavily retouch her 2 other pictures.
The background is over romanticised and over fiddly, and the colours are a little hackneyed, and I hope I'm not being too harsh, but to my eyes, completely spoiled. You don't need to Photoshop all the colours. I think if you'd had the conviction of your thought process and seen it through with the camera, you'd have ended up with a much, much better photograph than you've got.
So why don't we concentrate now on Germaine Greer image, because she has really achieved, note this, without manipulation, without tricks. And for the first time, Martin, there's somebody looking direct at camera.
Yes. And I think we see the benefit of that. I mean, I really like this sort of connection that she's made with, Germaine and the photographer, and that sense of connection is an important part of a portrait. Sometimes it could work by looking away, but here, that directness really is beneficial. As opposed to, say, this one, I look at this and I think, what's the band? They look like, it looks like a band's first LP cover, right. And that's the trouble with it. I can't get that image out of my head. What do you think?
I think you're being incredibly harsh. It was pouring down with rain. I am pleased with that photo. I think I have never grabbed people from the streets and got them to do stuff. I think had I maybe had a little more time, had the weather been less inclement, then I could have played around a bit more.
Hi.
Photographic newcomer Jay Mawson is last to face the judges. He's got Germaine with the tailor's dummy, 2 boys in Brighton, and Lucinda in an urban landscape.
The emphasis is on the environment, the architecture, and the stuff of the image, and there's not enough attention really given to the personality and character of the sitter, because everything you've told me about her personality doesn't really come through here. It could be any girl just sitting lost in the street.
Jay's use of the dummy with Germaine doesn't fare well with the judges either.
It's forced, that's the problem. It feels as if it's you've gone into the situation, you've forced it, and we're seeing it at this peak of forcibility, if you like, and I'm not as convinced as you that it's really working.
His Brighton image is a last chance to impress the judges.
The relationship between the kids and the whole of the space seems to work. It doesn't get in the way. Here, I'm looking at the space or the mannerism of Germaine. So here, the whole thing works together. It sort of flows, whereas in the other pictures, you're looking too much at sort of you artificially creating the space. Here, the space comes naturally, and that's the thing. You've got to make it look as if it's easy.
Coming up, the judges hear Joy's feedback.
I think he has an eye. It's not a trained eye, but I do think there's a real spark there.
Before deciding which 2 photographers haven't made the grade.
We get to the stage where we do have to decide who sadly isn't going to make it through.
It's the end of the first week of a unique photographic competition. After 3 challenging assignments, it's time for 4 of the most respected figures in photography to judge this week's winners and losers.
In a way, I think he lost his nerve, and he was the most anxious, I think, of all the photographers in that situation.
He's not a good photographer in my mind yet, and I think he's got some ways to come on, but I think he's got his intellect, and the keenness of these ideas, for me, excites me.
When we throw people into the deep end, into an area and territory they don't really know about, that's where you really see what progress they can make and what they can make of it. So in that sense, she did well.
I'm not sure I think they're outstanding photos, but I do think the progress she made is nothing short of startling.
Sorry, it's not a very long course.
My only reservation is he tends to be a bit formulaic, and that can be a killer in terms of creativity.
But I think in a sense it's good to perhaps bring him down a peg in order that he can open himself up to some new ideas and freshen up and move forward.
Is everything all right? My legs and everything?
You're beautiful, darling.
I mean, I think it's a question of trying too hard and ironically actually needing to try a little less hard and focusing on her core talent, which she without a doubt has.
I do think she is learning to move away from this artifice of playing with Photoshop in the particular way that she has.
You feel with her, that she's discovering it as she goes along, and we're engaged and captivated by that excitement. And that's a very good sign, because that in the end is the thing that we're looking for, is passion, because that's going to make the picture.
Do however you feel.
I'm inclined to think this is someone, at the moment, who's not quite ready to carry on?
I still believe that he probably has the most potential because I think he has an eye. It's not a trained eye, it's a very intuitive eye, and it needs a lot more time to develop. But I do think there's a real spark there.
It's a pretty close thing, isn't it?
Two of the photographers are about to find out that they're leaving the competition.
We get to the stage where we do have to decide who sadly isn't going to make it through.
And the first person we've had to lose this week is Carolyn. I'm sorry, Carolyn, but we love the Germaine Greer image, but we do feel that the other ones do suffer from a decorativeness, attention to surface, which is holding them back, is making them much less emotionally resonant than they should be. So that is one of the reasons why we've decided that we're going to say goodbye to you.
The second choice is equally difficult, and it is you, Jay. I say it with a really heavy heart because I can't emphasize enough that you have some incredible raw talent. We feel that in the short constraint of the 2 weeks or 3 weeks this program's running, it's not enough time for you to learn enough of the trade to come on far enough to show the consistency that's needed to win the competition.
I'm not going to give up. This was something that I came into, didn't expect to get this far. It's given me the impetus I need to just take it that step forward, to come back and just show how I can develop. I know I can.
I took it on board and I think they're right. I think that I should trust my instincts more and I should go for a purer image. It's so new to me, it's all a huge learning curve, and I've really appreciated my time here.
Now 4 remain to take on the photographic challenge of a lifetime.
Forwards. Never directed a horse before.
To win through, they'll need to master the art of documentary photography.
I hope there are a few there which will be good enough, because I really want to go through.
And at the end of another tough week, 4 will become 2.
It doesn't work visually because we don't know really quite what it's about. We have now finally made a decision.
If you'd like the chance to have your documentary pictures critiqued by Picture This judges, go to channel4.com Picture This to submit your work.